it seems to me it might be useful if conservatives made a major change in the way they see the rest of the world and see themselves for what they really are, which is not the sleeping majority that someday is going to rise up and bring us back to 1985, but instead a determined and clear-thinking minority of people who truly believe that the life they want for their kids is the best life, who have an actual argument to make about it, and who aren't kidding. Who weren't kidding at all. And almost none of them are like that. People who truly think they're God, which is this, and that's the most immoral category of person. It's not a question of Christians and Jews or Muslims. No, the divide is really simple. People who think they're God and people who know they're not. Okay? That's the divide. And anyone who thinks he's God is scary and a threat to you because there are no limits to what that person will do. And it's those people who have the least moral authority of any people in the world, people who imagine they're God and omnipotent, can change the weather and your gender, people who are literally insane, are the ones who've seized the moral high ground because the rest of us don't want to be unpopular in carpool line. It's normal people versus everybody else. It's normal people. It's like people that I know who, maybe aren't very political, certainly not very ideological, but want the things that every normal person wants, which is, peace, tranquility, safety, some attention on them and their concerns. They get none. And a better life for their kids. I mean, these aren't kind of partisan categories. This is just like normal people versus the people in charge. That's the way that I viewed it. And to some extent, I still think that. I still think if you were to ask your average person, what are the things that you care about, they would bear, and the public opinion polling proves this, those issues would bear almost no relation to the issues that, say, occupy the time of the U.S. Senate. Like, they're interested in a whole bunch of issues that most people have at, like, number 14 and 15 on their list of concerns. And I spent 35 years in Washington, and I never heard one person in the Congress talk about gas prices or food inflation, not one. And where I live, those are real issues. If your grocery bill doubles in 18 months, that's kind of a concern, maybe an even bigger concern than what happens in Ukraine. I'm just saying. Abortion's been very effective for the Democrats. I find it, so disheartening because the debate it's weird to have had roughly the same job for my whole life, literally since, the day I left college. I've been doing pretty much what I'm doing now. So I've seen this longitudinally. And the level of extremism on the other side is like gone beyond what I ever thought it would be. At this point, it's just like throw them into the fire for Moloch. It's just like, it's crazy. Whereas, for the bulk of my life, it was very, very muted and restrained. It was sort of like the gun control debate. No one ever says, we're just going to take your guns away. They're like, no, we just want background checks. And by the way, it's not a national gun registry. Calm down, conspiracy nut. And then you sort of know where that's going to end, which is the ATF is here for you now. And because I just saw it in the abortion debate.